Okay. The Biftek is pretty empty around dinner time. Al and me sit in the rear next to the pool tables, our backs to the corner. Morgan's not here yet. Al flags down Sandy the waitress and orders us double vodkas. His eyebrows signal toward the bar at the front. Slim's walked in with a long-haired high school boy. He's a brunette beauty, dressed in a fashionably ragged black t-shirt, appears to have a nicely toned bod. Of course, Slim always looks like $1 million, no matter how hard she's been carousing or what she's got on, like the worn black Levi's and frayed wife beater that show up the sides of her tits and the ruler straight hair, white blonde, right down past her shoulders. Her lad radiates pride. Cannot believe his good fortune. He's cocky and yaks openly to strangers, checks to see who'll notice this fine, log-legged score of his. Slim hears his opinions on music and TV with pursed lips and might even spend enough time listening to seem civil before she drags him home. So, what do you think about this new recruit up against the boards, I ask Al, dropping into my Danny Gallivan shtick. He's a good-looking kid. Scouting reports say he's got a great set of hands on him. Terrific junior league record. Plays the body. Loves to bang him in the corners. Drafted 4th overall from the Random Knob Gobblers. Led his team in scoring, don't you know? Al's hunched over his vodka like it's a news desk mic. He's not all that taken with Slim's young prospect. Let's not overrate the boy, Johnny. How many young phenoms have we seen promoted to the bigs before they were ready, only to end up back on the farm team in Moncton or Val-d'Or? No, it's not every rookie who can keep it up all season long. I'd wager 48 hours till he knocks on her door with something he made. A token already. Slim picks up on our live play-by-play coverage. She sticks her tongue out at us over the kid's shoulder. She'll screw him at least once to give the odds makers a break, but chances are, underneath his hip young strut, he's just another white bread hoser who'll come over the boards on fire, then get caught up ice on the game-losing goal. Slim told me the last week, pretty wasted at the bar St. Laurent, she left some guy hanging and disappeared with his buddy while the stooge was in the can. Like that Bobo loser, like all of them, the stooge came out and saw the abandoned table and half-finished drinks. He puffed out his chest and shoved through a gauntlet of jeers. The stooge hurried down the main and caught Slim and his pal in a laneway with their hands open in one another's clothes. The way Slim told it, she took them both home. Up in her attic, the young stooge and his bosom pal were at either end of her and grinned at each other. She saw that dumb look like they wanted to pump their fist, slap a high five, and yell, "Yes!" Feeling a little generous, she tried to teach these gomers a thing or two, but it all went awry. The fuck are you doing? Don't just grab it like some on-off. No, not like that. Just get the fuck off of me. She booted out the stooge and his sidekick 5 seconds after they'd filled their rubbers. But like all of Slim's human dildos, they were love-struck at her hostility. Can we have your phone number? I don't have a phone. Stooge's partner hesitated at the door. Guess we'll see you around. I noticed Leroy at the end of the bar, right by the door. He's come in with a blonde French girl called Sophie. She's got all these curvy curves and a big sweet ass and nice full breast, and Rubens would have gone gag over her, and I'm getting kind of mesmerized myself. She's yet another woman who has used Tony's place as a sort of portal. Tony's like some kind of unwitting pimp. He meets these incredible women because of his groovy studio, his artist gimmick, but they always end up giving him a condescending pat in the head, then go off with one of his friends. Leroy and Sophie are sitting real close, noses together, fingers between each other's thighs. Her shirt's open just enough to reveal the top half of a lacy red bra. She's sassy and unpredictable, temperamental as a thoroughbred and sharp as a tack. Dropped right into Leroy's lap, just as he'd prayed. Al draws my attention to a scuffle outside the men's room. I tell him to fuck off, but when I look back at Leroy and Sophie, all I catch is a glimpse of them leaving, holding hands and laughing, a spark of red against the gray nightfall. The Biftek slowly picks up speed as dust settles on the main. The clouds break for a moment and the bright sunset bounces off the shop windows across the road. Somebody's put Men Without Hats on the stereo, as a joke, I presume. I mean, they're good guys from the neighborhood and all, but hey, there's a limit to loyalty. Their song gets blown off the sound system with an explosion and a scream, then distorted asexual's guitar feedback. The pool tables have gotten busy. Players write their names on a small chalkboard to reserve a spot. The shouts and banter become more excitable as the lights go down. In a few hours, it'll be packed to the gills and there'll be 4 deep at the bar. A year ago, the Biftek was a tomb. The numbskull pork chop owner had his dick in his hand and couldn't figure out how to draw flies. He'd redone the dive with curly wrought iron arches, exposed wood beams, beige stucco, and framed bullfighting posters. We tried flamenco dancers, and they immediately flatlined. Then gypsy fiddlers. Pfft. That was followed by some lowlife in a matador suit who sang Barry Manilow's schmaltz while tickling a farfisa organ. All that and fine dining. Despite his considerable efforts, the pork chop was thwarted. He'd fret, pace around, and his testicles would constrict as he watched the Balmoral across the street get mobbed night and day. He couldn't figure it out. That place is a filthy hole, and his establishment was classy. Looking to replace a barmaid, the pork chop hired a hip young babe called Marie, without giving it much thought beyond some far-fetched fantasy she'd find him beguiling. Marie advised the pork chop to uncover the pool tables fossilizing in the back. He was reluctant, worried about the Biftek losing its Lux appeal, but eventually agreed to try it her way for a little while. Marie played some of her mixtapes, and a few friends dropped by. College kids began to show up and shoot 8-ball, drink lots of cheap draft. It wasn't long before the Mirror officially sanctioned the Biftek's kitschy cool. Within a couple of months, the place got fairly trashed, which only added to the image. And nowadays, there's a lineup down the block after midnight. So tonight, the pork chop struts around, balls first, strokes the wad of C notes he keeps in his pants. Of course, he was convinced it was all his doing, and Maria's long gone for refusing his advances. But how can you resist me? I am the vast and conquersome pork chop. Behold the marvel I have fashioned. Thank you.